Hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Sr. And this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. Like always, I like to give a shout out to everybody out there listening all over the world, especially right here in our own backyard, North Carolina. Stand up. Right here in Greensboro, the Gate City. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening. Of course, to Queen City, Chapel Hill, Winston-Salem, surrounding areas, Chapel Hill, Durham, Raleigh, Kingston. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to the Ross Cloud Podcast. Brussels, Belgium, bonjour and hello to our Dutch and French-speaking folks over in Brussels, Belgium, and what's happening to Brazil. Hola! And let us not forget that this is National Hispanic Month. Am I correct about that? Is it still going on? I think it is. But if not, celebrate! Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate! Oh! So I am in here now. Brittany Griner. Say her name, Brittany Griner. Listen, let's not forget about what she's going through. Let's keep her in our prayers. Her and her family. And she make a speedy return back here to the States. Right on? We love you, BG. Listen, shout out to the folks that are dealing with the hurricane as they are beginning to fix things back together again. Let's keep those folks in prayer. Find a way to donate to those organizations so these folks can get exactly what they need. All right. And with my wonderful hostess with the mostest, Miss Candy T. Jeter. What's happening?
Well, hello, Chris.
Yeah, we back at it, right?
Back at it again. I hope everybody out there is doing great.
Yes.
As usual, stay focused on what it is that you desire. And hopefully this show will get you back to yourself and in your power.
Yes, I love it. So listen, this is, I guess we could say this is part 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Safely, yeah.
Safely we can say that. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if you didn't get a chance to listen to this episode, then you can go right back and check out this episode and then see where we are now. We pretty much was talking about relinquishing your power, how to avoid doing it. And then we closed it with reclaiming your power back. And we ended on that, actually. Mm-hmm. And I gave you guys a list of ways to reclaim your power back. And I'll go through them before we start, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get this thing popping off. So number 1, experience yourself as separate, differentiated from others. Contain destruction and keep it from spreading. Define yourself and know who you are. Set limits when needed. Possess and live out values. Have self-control and thereby be free and autonomous. I hope I'm saying that right, y'all.
That's right.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Because I bet not have said autonomious. Negro, please. And notice that power over the other people and not on the list. On the list. I don't know if I hope
that might be a typo.
That might be. So notice the power over the people not on the list.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how the word they inserted in there.
Yeah.
You can only control yourself, and when you do that well, you'll be well with others. And so pretty much, you know, those are just ways you can reclaim your power. But the word that comes to mind, Candy, when I'm thinking about reclaiming, is taking it back. Mm-hmm. You know, getting back what's yours.
Like Maxine Waters says, I'm reclaiming my time.
Come on now.
I'm reclaiming my time.
Yeah.
I love when she does that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that term is to make a retraction of, withdrawal. Yeah. Interesting. And take it back.
Yeah. How have you taken back your power in certain situations?
Oh, man. When I decided to go full time with this, to be independent was one way that I wanted to take my power back. Because when you are an artist, I think you have to make your mind up. And I'm not saying I've given up acting or singing. I know I stated that earlier, but after doing so many things for free and then coming up short and it didn't have nothing to do with a company. It had something to do with you as an individual not putting expectations in place. Because a lot of times we can perpetuate how our businesses ran based on how we move. Now, if you somebody that say, I'm going to just go do it because of the opportunity, and you've been doing it now for 3-4 years, then I think you have a little bit under your belt to kind of say what you want to have.
Right.
4 or 5 years. And not that you ask for this astronomical amount of money, but there's an expectation that you have. There are things that you need to take care of, And, when you make a conscious decision to say, I'm going to be independent and I'm going to do this on my own, expect for it to have trials and tribulations out of it. But you get your power back. It's the beauty and it's the beauty of just getting your power back. So I can say when I decided to go independent with this, I must admit there was some fear associated with it, but it wasn't a fear that stagnated me or stopped me from. It was more of the fear of the unknown or the what expectations that I had to look forward to.
Right.
I had to go through that whole journey of that fear process of the unknowing. You know what I'm saying? So it still was some fear associated, but I didn't allow the fear to stop me. I actually allowed it to propel me because it's something kind of, it's something enjoyable about the unknown that piques the interest and the curiosity of man. And we're programmed that way unless we allow fear to suppress and stagnate us and hinder us from going to wherever it is that our destiny is calling us to, wherever the divine is pointing you to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So take it back. That's one way that I took my power back, but it provoked so much thought in me when you said it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you can go so many different ways with this, right?
Yeah.
Your peace.
Yeah.
Who is that? Is that PJ Morton who has that song?
Yes.
Morton. I never say his name right.
PJ Morton.
Okay, yes. That brother bad. So
he is awesome.
Isn't he awesome?
I love him. I've seen him live before.
Yeah,
he's good.
He's an awesome individual. PJ Morton, yes, that right there, that song, I'm just protecting my peace. And that says so much, don't it?
It does.
Woo, so reclaim your power. Take your power back. What was you going to say, Candy?
Oh, nothing. I just, always curious about that.
Oh,
because
yeah.
It's so important for us to understand who we are. That's what came up a lot in that list. It came up a couple of times in different ways.
Yeah.
Who are you? Knowing who you are is most powerful.
Isn't it powerful?
Yeah. My mom used to say, I remember when I was young and a young wife, and I wanted my husband to stop doing things. And she was like, don't worry about what he's doing. Just worry about who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's so hard when you're in a partnership of any kind, whether it be a friendship, a workship, a lovership, anything.
Yeah.
And you want somebody else to stop doing something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then somebody's advice to you is don't worry about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Worry about what you're doing for you.
Yeah.
And who you are and what you stand for.
Yes.
And you live in that.
Live in that.
And let them do whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah.
And I could not figure that thing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wasn't until I actually did that I discovered my true power.
Yes.
And once I discovered that what he was doing or what my friend was doing or what my coworker was doing did not concern me. And that was when I learned the art of detachment while yet still remaining connected.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you have to master in relationships. Mm-hmm. You connect to your people so that you're human.
Oh, absolutely.
But you detach from the things that they're doing that could be possibly bothering you.
I agree.
So that it doesn't change who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a lesson, a great lesson that I had to learn.
Yeah.
Detach while remaining connected, because that's the only way you can keep relationships going.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Let go.
That's powerful.
It is.
I mean, that's how I found my powerful, is to detach. And so I don't cling on to anything or anybody.
Yeah.
That may feel weird for people who are used to codependent relationships where people are making them responsible for their happiness and things like that. It feels weird, and it feels almost like, oh, well, she doesn't care.
Yeah.
But that's because we're not conditioned to love in a connected, detached way.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell you, you make me think about it. I tried my best to kind of stay tuned to what's going on in the world, whether it be in music, whether it be, what we're going through with economics and war. We talked about that. And the reason that I'm saying that is you're talking about detachment. What I'm thinking about is what the super rap group, the Migos, are going through right now.
Tell me about that.
Okay, one of the members have decided to walk away from a situation and then sue the big giant. Mm-hmm. But the other two have decided to stay together. In them staying together, they still have that relationship with that one member that's separating and said, "I want all my stuff." Mm-hmm. Something ain't right about the contract, as we just stated a few minutes ago. Mm-hmm. Just to kind of put some perspective on this in case some folks may not get it. So he decided that as an entity, as an individual, I'm going to separate myself from the group. Mm-hmm. I'm going to sue them because I want what's due to me. Okay. We're not getting what's due to us. Mm-hmm. And he couldn't convey that to them, or he didn't have enough charisma, or they were like, well, you go do your thing. Mm-hmm. They had already made their mind up. No, we're going to continue to be here. Mm-hmm. We're okay with what we have going on. Mm-hmm. We're going to make something just the duo, as he stated. And the one, he's still in the process. But guess what? He detached himself because it wasn't conducive for him.
Right. All right.
He wasn't able to continue to relinquish his power to somebody else. Mm-hmm. He wanted to take his back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm taking my power back. Y'all go ahead. I want all of my money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
To each his own.
And to each his own. Mm-hmm. But I said that to bring to that point of what you said about detaching. It's okay to detach yourself and still be one. Yes. It's really okay. Mm-hmm. As you were making reference about relationships. And I think we all get to a point where we master that. It takes time. Mm-hmm. It takes growth. It takes maturity. It takes knowing who you are in order to detach yourself. That way you can continue to be you. And
not doing it with resentment.
Oh, that part.
Because resentment is still an attachment.
Okay.
So people get angry, resentful, vengeful, and they say, I ain't talking to them no more. And they think they have washed their hands of it, but they're still very much attached. Because resentment is as powerful as love. Mm-hmm. So if you're hating and you're resentful, you're still attached.
Yeah, you're still attached. You don't realize
they still got your power. They're still controlling your emotions, your thoughts, your actions, your decisions. It's all made around avoiding that person. Yes. It's all made around forgetting that person. It's all made around making that person pay, which means you are still attached and controlled by that other person. Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And there's that quote, he who angers you controls you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who wrote that quote, but I never forgot
That's
it.
the truth.
So I had to be careful of who I was allowing to relinquish myself of that power
That's
to give
right.
them.
Don't be angry.
Yeah, don't be mad.
Don't be mad.
Oh, no.
Don't be mad. And
they-
when you're not mad at people, boy, you confuse them.
You're confused. I ain't even mad at you.
They like, what in the world can I do? They want you to be mad.
Yeah.
Because they know they can feel the love when
Yes.
you're mad at them. If I don't love you,
What?
I ain't going to be mad at you.
Exactly. You know?
Yeah.
That is so true, right?
Yes.
Oh man. I don't forgot who said that, but
That's a good one.
yeah, he who angers you controls you.
Mm-hmm.
And when I thought about that quote, I was sitting there like, yeah, let a lot of people control me
Yeah.
by pissing me off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can react, you can react to it, or you can just kind of say, you know what, I ain't dealing with that.
Yeah. Don't even worry about it.
I'm not even worrying about that.
Yeah.
You through?
Yeah.
All right, you have a good one.
Right.
I ain't even mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously,
Don't come after me, though.
please don't.
Yeah, because I'm walking away.
I'm trying to tell you. It's a whole nother that's a whole nother thing now. I already told you, leave me alone, right?
Yeah.
In so many words.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Right on,
Mm-hmm.
We used to laugh at older gentlemen when they used to say, go ahead on now.
Yeah.
There's a lot being said right there.
That's a lie.
It's a lot. So go ahead on now.
Yeah.
All right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead on now. Right? It's a lot being said in that damn moment, right?
That's a whole
It's
lie.
a whole lot.
Go ahead on now.
I got this knife on me now. I'm
Yeah.
telling you
I
now.
don't want no trouble.
I don't want no trouble.
That's another loaded one.
Yes, sir. I got something for you
I
now.
don't want no
all right.
trouble.
Yeah, I don't want no trouble, man.
Yeah, I don't want
Hey,
no
man,
trouble.
it's all good, man.
It's all
I don't
good.
even want
That's
no
another
problems
one.
with you. That's
If
another.
somebody, I always tell people, if somebody say, I don't want no trouble,
Yes.
leave them alone.
Yes. Or they say, what you mean by that? What you mean?
What you trying to say?
What you trying to say, man? Right. Say that again. Don't let them say that. What you say?
Yeah.
Say that again. I tell you what, man.
Yeah.
You got at that split moment.
Yeah.
You gotta think then.
Mm-hmm. That power in the pause.
Power in the pause.
Yeah.
Pause a minute on that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Collect your power.
Yeah, collect yourself, man, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can get ugly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We only human.
We only human,
And
right?
what we're talking about are concepts and things that we can draw on to help us stay within our power and rise above situations,
Come
right?
on here now. Come on here now.
And because you don't want to play low, but sometimes every now and then it happens.
Yes.
But you got to know who you are,
Gotta know.
so you know when to walk away.
Yeah. You have to know when. You should know that.
Yeah, and sometimes it's your own children because you don't get along with either them or the spouse or whatever.
Sure.
I mean, or the parent.
Yes,
And you have to relinquish.
you do.
There's that word again.
Yeah.
The whole entire relationship.
I swear you do. A lot of
You
people don't
know.
understand that
Yeah.
because a lot of people, a lot of folks in our communities, we have accepted behaviors. We have, let's say this, normalize people being impulsive and acting out. We put it all on Instagram, put it all on Facebook.
It's entertainment.
We are entertained by it, and we entertained by it whenever we watch Housewives, whenever we watch these catty arguments, even relational. We see them, we like, okay, man. So yeah, we normalize behaviors,
right.
and people are capitalizing off of people's, impulsive behaviors or whatever it is they got going on.
Right.
No knock on folks, but that's what it is. And they're getting paid to expose themselves pretty much.
That's right.
Because really a lot of that stuff they're going through, the reality is it should be secret. But again, they were willing to relinquish their power over to them. And in a sense, it's real.
Yes.
You get a chance to see what's really going on in the mind of people. You can look at it a lot of different ways, that right there. Yes, they're relinquishing their power up, but also they're getting their power back because they're showing you who they are. There's nothing hidden.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. So you made me think about the definition of resentment.
Ooh. Let's hear it.
Yeah. But it's got so many different little things up under here, Candy. When I read it to you, we're just gonna touch on it, okay?
Okay.
So you talked about that word resentment, and again, we're just talking about these ways to reclaim your power. But in order for us to talk about reclaiming your power, there's a lot of moving parts with this, where you can get a full understanding of what we're saying when we say reclaim your power back and relinquishing your power that we did in the first one. So this is the second one. So resentment. And again, this is Wikipedia, Thesaurus Dictionary, whatever you want to use, Google it. All right. So resentment, also called ranklement.
Oh, really?
Yep. Ranklement or bitterness, as you stated before, is a complex, multi-layered emotion that has been described as a mixture of disappointment, disgust, anger, fear. Other psychologists consider it a mood or as a secondary emotion, including cognitive elements that can be elicited in the face. Interesting, right?
Yeah, so you can tell in the face when somebody's resentful.
Yes, you can.
Someone.
So listen to this. There's a word that came up, causes. Resentment can result from a variety of situations involving a perceived wrongdoing from an individual, which are often sparked by expressions of injustice or humiliation. Causes up under resentment.
Injustice and humiliation.
Yeah. They're sparked by expressions of injustice and humiliation. Resentment can result from that.
Wow.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. It lets you know that resentment sounds like comes from abused authority.
Ooh.
Somebody in charge, parent, what we talked about in the last episode.
Yeah.
A spouse who holds more power.
Yeah.
Seems like the one who is resentful is often the weaker one in the relationship.
There it is. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are resentful, you have given away your power.
You literally
and
have.
you're bitter about it.
You're bitter about it.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, we talked around to that one because
yeah, we did.
That's important.
But that's what got me. It said it's a multi-layered emotion.
Yeah, that means it's complex.
Yes. It says it has been described as a mixture of disappointments, disgust, anger, and fear. Dang. Now listen at how it functions. Resentment has healthy and unhealthy aspects. Alex McLean writes, what we resent... oh, Lord, hold on, y'all. All right. What we resent reveals what it is we value and what we have come to expect or hoped from others. It may also reveal to what we see ourselves entitled to. That is how our expectations of our surroundings are organized and measured. Interesting, right?
So expectations unfulfilled.
Yes. Listen at all these layers, though.
Yeah.
Like, Candy, there's so many different layers in this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It
right?
is. That's very interesting.
It's very interesting, right? So peep this right here. Internal experience. Resentment is most powerful when it is felt towards someone whom the individual is close to or intimate with.
Yeah. The closer you get, the more resentful
Yes.
you become.
Yes. To have an injury resulting in resentful feelings inflicted by a friend or a loved one. Now listen to this. Like, this is, first of all, when I thought about the word resentment, I would have never thought it was layered in all of this, Candy.
Wow.
But when you think about the word, listen to the word resentment.
Wow.
All of this is encompassed inside of resentment. Wow. Physical expression. Unlike many emotions, resentment does not have physical tags exclusively related to it that telegraph when a person is feeling this emotion. Just what you said. It's attached to so much.
Yes.
That's wild, man.
It is.
You won't even know somebody's, like, those of us that have been around a little bit, sometimes we catch it. And then sometimes, based off of this, you'll miss it.
Right.
It is a comparison with anger. I see that.
Yeah. It's a
I see
suppressed
that.
anger.
It's a suppressed anger.
Because you are resentful because you can't do anything about the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're trying to control again. You're trying to control it.
But you're resentful. It's a comparison with anger. Robert C. Solomon, a professor of philosophy at the University of Texas at Austin, places resentment on the same continuum as anger and contempt.
Contempt. Now they're going into, after contempt, you're going into violent behavior.
Yes.
You right there
You
where
right
somebody
there.
jump off the wrong way.
Yep.
You've been brewing and stewing for so long
Yep.
that it could go either way if that thing is not fixed quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's getting crucial
It's
now.
getting crucial, right? He argues that the difference between the three are that resentment is anger directed towards a higher status individual.
That's what I just said.
Just what you said.
Yes.
That's why I read it again.
Wow.
Anger, I just
This is
really,
so interesting.
I love this because not only that, I love the beauty of showing off the people's critical thinking that are around me. So it's a beautiful testament to say that I have the right people around me.
Yeah.
And you just said it, but I wanted to show you that you were thinking on the same level
Wow.
as a professor and a
This is so
philosopher. It's very interesting that the human
You
mind
come up
is
with the best articles. Like, I've been Googling stuff, but
listen.
Okay, go ahead.
I keep telling people I love this right here.
Yeah,
So sometimes your passion can draw you even deeper into something. And you're able to find yourself
Yeah.
in a lot of these different conversations, and hopefully you find yourself and you get better. That's the whole premise of the podcast, in hopes that people will get better.
Yeah.
We ain't preaching at you.
Yeah.
We're reading evidence and we're telling you, look, this is what can happen if you don't do it. Anger is directed towards an equal status individual, and contempt is anger directed towards a lower status individual.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting, right?
Yes.
That is so interesting to me. I'm sitting here like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay. All right. Coping is another word that's attached with resentment. To further compound these negative effects, resentment often functions in a downward spiral. Resentful feelings cut off communication. Interesting, right? That's coping.
Resentfulness cuts off communication. We just talked about not communicating with someone, but if you are resentful towards them, you are just as attached to them as if you were communicating with them every day.
Come on. He who angers you
Controls you.
There it is. And I'm going to read this, right? You cut off the communication between the resentful person and the person he or she feels committed the wrong. That's wild, ain't it? Yeah. Coping is in the same family as resentment.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got so much we can learn. Coping. Right.
Yeah, coping is something that we have always looked at as positive, but over a long period of time, it's not very sustainable. It can be very negative.
Yes, very
You
much
don't
so.
want to just cope. You want to thrive.
You want to thrive.
Yeah.
You want to thrive.
Yeah.
And you're holding yourself up with the resentment.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, boy. I don't know about y'all, but this right here is just absolutely wonderful. What we're doing, this conversation that we're having, I don't know about you all, but it will really, really help you understand, like kind of. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking out loud.
No.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was thinking resentfulness is going back to those 3 power blockers.
Yeah.
That third one is the inability to let go of the past.
Okay.
That's what resentment is all about. Coming back around to that forgiveness.
Yeah.
And forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's still not about the other person. Because that
Not at
person is
all.
just being who they are.
That's just who
You
they
just
are.
don't like who they are.
You absolutely.
And you want them to change.
You-
That's where the resentfulness is coming from.
Yes, indeed.
That person really
Ouch.
isn't doing anything to you.
No.
That person is being who they are,
Man,
which
that-
is rubbing you the wrong way.
Rubbing you the wrong way.
And you want them to stop.
And you want them to stop.
And they not.
No.
They're not going to stop. So what are you doing? And I'm asking all of us,
Yes.
what are we doing when somebody is being who they are
Yeah.
and we don't like it
We hate
and
it.
we want them to stop?
We want them to stop.
How does that sound? That sounds ridiculous because you can't make them stop.
No, not at all.
You can't make them stop.
No.
Even your own child.
Even your
You
own
can
child.
suppress them,
You can.
but whatever's in there is in there, and it's going to come
It's
out.
going to come out, and it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know.
So we have to, in order to take our power back, we have to stop trying to change people. I say that every day.
Yeah.
Stop trying to change people. You can complain about it a little bit if you want to, say a little something. But, I mean, after you burn yourself out,
Oh, that'll wear you out.
that will wear you out. And I noticed that people that are able to stay married over 10 years,
Wow.
they agree to disagree.
Wow.
They accept what they don't like,
Yes.
and they learn how to live be comfortable with being uncomfortable
Yeah. Yes.
in order to make it.
The greater.
Remember we were talking about trying to get to 25?
Trying to get to 25.
In order to make it to 25 years, I don't
yeah.
care how perfect you think your partner is
Yes.
for you,
Yes. Yes.
they not you.
They're not you.
And you're going to have to deal with the contrast
Yes.
at some point.
Yes. You know, when I think about to your point, when you're thinking about couples that just kind of deal with it, like you said, for the greater good of the relationship, looking at the big picture, if you choose to relinquish your power over to them, but are you really reclaiming your power in that situation? And my case in point to that is, you know, I've heard of instances where the woman outlives the man. She stayed, so now she's a benefactor of the estate.
Yeah.
So in that sense, she reclaimed her power back.
Yeah.
And we see women doing it all the time. In other words, they begin to overlook things.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's all good. He living a reckless life.
Yeah. I got good insurance.
I got him good insurance on him. He drinking and drinking stuff every day, doing cocaine. He doing this, doing. Oh, and I'm
Eating
speaking,
himself to death.
Yeah, eating himself to death. Let him go and kill himself. It's
Yeah.
all right.
They do. We have seen that.
Yes, we see it, and so in a sense,
Said, let him go on and kill
yeah,
himself.
let him go and kill himself. Hell, if you want to drink himself to death, let him go head on.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about Harold drinking so much? I'm all right
I'm
with
all right with it. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard.
We used to fight about it, but I don't fight about it
Oh
no
man, I
more.
don't fight about it.
Yeah.
He's just a damn alcoholic.
Yeah.
You know, you deal with it. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Harold out there the other day. He was chasing them girl. Child, please, let them go ahead on with them hoes.
Yeah.
That's going to kill them dead.
Yeah, we don't even do nothing no more.
We don't even do nothing about that. Yeah, I don't even care.
I don't even have sex with them
No,
no more.
I sleep in another room.
Yeah.
When we think about The Crown.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a greater good. No, we ain't divorcing.
No matter what.
You go over there and go sleep in your room. Don't touch me, no.
She told Philip, you can go out there with them ballerinas all you want.
Right. Go right ahead.
Yeah. But
I ain't staying you.
A divorce is not an option.
It's not an option. And look what happened.
Yeah.
I'm just saying her legacy still wasn't killed.
Yeah.
I mean, the crown is still there.
Yeah.
The legacy continues.
She hung in there.
She hung in there.
Mm-hmm.
It was for the greater good.
It was for something bigger than
Yeah.
themselves.
She just let them know. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Get your lips off of me. Don't touch me.
Yeah. We good.
We good.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and do what you finna do.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah, you see a moment like Jesus had. Judas, go ahead on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead and do what you're going to do.
Yeah. Go on and get a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye. I know what you got to do.
You fulfilling my purpose, though.
Fulfilling my purpose. Go ahead and do what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know who I am.
I know who I am.
And it didn't stop
And
me.
what I came to do.
So the last thing that I got out of that resentment was comparison and conviction.
Mm-hmm.
I think we touched on it.
It's good.
An important feature of acting on resentment is that it is against something. Unfairness, injustice, abuse, situations that threaten values or well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas acting on conviction is for something, i.e. justice, well-being of self or others.
Mm-hmm.
Or any other, or any other. Where we at? Oh, yeah. So isn't that something?
Yeah, I think that that was an excellent article.
Yeah, excellent.
That was good. And resentment. Now that we know, it's a complex emotion.
It is.
It's filled with a lot of things over a long. It's chronic. It's filled with a lot of things over a long period of time that have built up.
Yeah.
And it takes our power.
It takes our power.
It takes our power. That parent-child relationship. I think that's the first thing when it comes to resentment for me that I think about. And we have to be so careful with our children as well as even our parents.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Because children often feel powerless to their parents. That's their first God.
First one.
It's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, why you don't like your mom? Your mom seems like such a nice woman.
Yeah.
Your dad seems like such a nice man. Why are you so angry with them?
Yeah.
And then they angry with everybody.
Every damn body.
Because of a parent. That's powerful.
Very powerful. But boy, when that child reclaims that power back, though.
Oh. Yeah. I ain't even mad at you. Once you reclaim your power back, you see how powerless the person you're resentful of actually is.
Yeah.
And then you start feeling compassion.
Yeah.
And you say, you know what?
It's
you did the best you could do.
You did the best you could do. You right there where you supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
Let's go get something to eat.
Yeah.
After a while, whatever.
Right.
Let's go to this show tonight.
Yeah.
Man, what you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I ain't doing nothing. All right. Well, I'm on the way over there.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready.
Mm-hmm.
We hear so many stories, people who are disconnected from their fathers.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of a football player that I can't remember the exact football player, but disconnected from his father. Couldn't get away from. He was always curious. And then he ended up going to the college that his father went to, playing the same sport. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Playing the same sport.
Still connected.
And broke records.
Yeah.
And the coach knew who he was. The coach knew who the son was.
Yeah.
Walked over to the son and said, I got some film I want to show you.
Wow.
Showed him the film of his father playing ball.
Oh, man.
So the key was in his father.
That's right. The father passed that talent on to you.
He passed it on to you. Mm-hmm. So it's so important and so very important that mothers allow fathers to be a part of the child's life.
And don't plant negative seeds.
And don't plant negative
no
seeds.
matter what
No
you
matter
and the mom
what.
went through.
That's what y'all went through.
That's what y'all went through.
Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do
Don't
with
tell the
children.
child, I don't like your daddy because your daddy did this to me.
Correct.
You know?
Don't even make it about you.
Don't even make it about
It will so be a beautiful thing when we as humans can learn to figure that part out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that plagues our community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could be bitterness, as again, resentment has set in, anger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you did that to me and now you're going to go on and you seem like you're doing all right.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I've forgiven myself.
Right.
And that's what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
You might have done something wrong to hurt somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But man, you better forgive yourself. Apologize
Yeah.
as best as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Take some accountability for your actions. But hell, I ain't finna stay in that.
Yeah.
I ain't finna stay in that mud and water.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't no pig. I ain't no cow. I ain't no animal. I'm getting the hell up out this mud because it's holding me down. It stink, it's wet, it's nasty, and it's heavy on me. I don't want it on me. You see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think when we put it in that perspective, you throw the metaphors out there like that. When you think about it, that shit is heavy on you.
It is heavy.
Who's supposed to walk around with that kind of baggage and weight on them?
And supposed to be successful on top of
Ain't
that.
no
How you
way.
gonna be successful?
Ain't no
Like
way.
truly successful.
Truly successful.
Not just monetarily.
Not monetarily.
But that inner peace,
Man,
that
talk about it.
gratitude.
Yes.
Not being depressed.
Yes.
You know, that's successful.
Whoa, me, he left me or she left me and I can't. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you did.
Yeah.
Or they know what you did. Or y'all did it to each other.
Right.
Come on, easy.
Mm-hmm.
Fall back a little bit. Pause.
Mm-hmm. Pause.
Pause.
I wish Femi was
I wish
right
baby
here.
was here too. Pause.
Pause.
So yeah, you have a choice whether or not you're going to sit in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then this last thing I'm going to say to you, this is going to blow your mind, what a resentment is attached to. Alcoholism and bigotry.
Wow.
And we just talked about that. Well, let him just go ahead and kill himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
He going to drink himself to death. Let him go ahead.
So people who are alcoholics, they're saying, are battling resentment.
I'm going to read it verbatim to you what it says. Alcoholic Anonymous, AA, cites resentment as the number one offender and one of the greatest threats to an alcoholic.
Wow. So if there's someone who really is an alcoholic, you have to ask them or get them to the root of what they're resentful about.
And that's exactly what it's saying. The 12 steps of AA involve identifying and dealing with resentment as a part of the path toward recovery.
Come on now.
Including acknowledging one's own role in resentment.
And if it's not alcohol, it's food.
It's food. Say that.
It's food.
Say that.
Because a lot of people like to say, well, you know, I don't drink. But boy, they would eat themselves to death.
Eat themselves to death.
You know, and that is still filling yourself up with something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Oh, it is.
I had to share that with you because I was like, that was the last one. You know, when you think about that, alcoholism and bigotry, and I can see where bigotry could have a lot of resentment. You know, it could be associated with resentment.
Yeah, yeah. So reclaiming your power is all about going back to that forgiveness.
Yeah.
And saying, you know what?
Yeah.
I can't change that situation.
Yes.
And I think as far as particularly oppressed groups, and I say that with quotes.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
Oppressed groups, that's why they have so many forms of addiction.
That's why.
We like to blame it on poverty.
We do.
We like to blame it on lack of resources. We like to blame it on racism. We like to blame it on unequal distribution of wealth. But people who are oppressed are resentful. And they walking around with that resentment that has to have an impact. The resentment alone has to have an impact on addictions and health and wealth, because you can't really be that successful if you walking around holding a grudge, because you are focusing on what you don't have and who got what, and white man did this and white man did that. You know,
Yes.
you gotta let that go.
Yes. Yes. You gotta let it go. You know, I think that's just so valuable, what we just read and what you just said, to talk about that. That was, man, resentment is something, Candy.
Yes.
Resentment is something that's just like, you know, as we were talking about it, you got a lot of people won't let it go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, alcoholism and bigotry. And I was thinking more on the lines of bigotry. You know, when we think about it, we think about what this what this senator just said, Tuberville, for a flat out racist reparations comment that he made.
Mm-hmm.
He dealing with resentment.
Yes.
He
That's
dealing
right.
with resentment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, when we think about everything,
Yes.
we dealing with resentment. He dealing with resentment.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So
It's amazing
Yeah.
how far we have gotten into this.
I know,
And I know we got to be helping somebody,
man. Listen,
because it helped me.
man. You know what? What I love is these conversations are kind of like a window or an open door to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at this point, you ain't looking at nobody else.
Right.
You're listening to the words and you're assessing and looking at your own life. And not that you're doing a self-diagnosis, but literally you are,
Mm-hmm.
because you're listening, and it's really showing you where you flawed at, or where you
Right.
messed up, where you erred at. Excuse me.
Right.
And we all have erred at some point in our life.
mhm.
And so this is kind of like exposing it,
Yeah.
especially when you read it. Resentment, really? All of the multi-layers in emotions in that?
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
It is.
So I thought this right here was necessary. It was needed. And again, you know, I hope we've said something on today that can help you become a better you. And make sure you just check out, just Google this. You know, Google it. Make sure you check us out on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram. And just show us some love. Wherever you listen to your podcast, the Ross Cloud Podcast will be there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm Carl Ross Sr.
And I am Candy T. Jeter, and you can reach me at www.thelettinggobook.com.
I love it. Make sure y'all get that book. All right. I'm Carl Ross Sr. Peace.